Hey there, Virgo. Welcome to your reading for mid-June 2025. We're going to jump right in here. You have this wombat spirit, says be at home. You have this groundhog spirit, says time to let go. The groundhog kind of represents rebirth, Virgo. The groundhogs have multiple chambers in their burrows, and they represent rebirth or experiencing some sort of rebirth. So, a lot of you could be rebirthing at home, or you could be going through some sort of change at home. And, I do feel that Virgo is changing. I mean, we've been talking about this for years, that, I think that a lot of you are kind of like changing who you are in some way. And, I'm not saying you're becoming like a different person, but, I think that you are going through changes. So that kind of makes sense. You have the Knight of Swords, the Five of Pentacles, the High Priestess, and the Five of Swords here. So number one, a lot of people have had the Knight of Swords, and the Knight of Swords says do not rush. So the Knight of Swords can be a card of like jumping to conclusions or being too hasty. Again, like I said, I think really the best thing to do with the Knight of Swords is to make sure that you're not rushing or jumping to conclusions on pretty much anything. I think it's interesting as well that we go to the Seven of Cups to the Eight of Wands. The Seven of Cups, he is dreaming of all these different like things above his head, all these different options, or, he's kind of like seeing good things and bad things in some of those cups. So, I always say the Knight of Swords can be a person who's like rushing into your life, who's like, I heard everybody's getting fired at work, but it's not true, right? And so I would be careful of anyone who is like rushing into your life, telling you something or saying that something's going to happen at work or in your personal life or whatever. Because again, it might, it's not that they're a bad person. They might not know the truth. And, the Knight of Swords, sometimes I think we have to get the truth. You have the Five of Pentacles. Again, you have the Five of Pentacles and the Five of Swords in this reading. I do feel like some of you are feeling like you're missing out on something, or something is missing, is kind of like what's popping into my head. I'm not too worried about it because you have the Eight of Wands, you have the Nine of Cups, the Ten of Pentacles. You do have some good cards here. So I do feel like you are going to be kind of like coming out of the cold in a sense, or it's like you're going to be getting something that you do or have felt like you are missing out on. And of course, that will be a good thing with the Five of Pentacles. I do feel like a lot of you are trying to improve your financial situation, though. Five of Pentacles can be like poverty or poverty consciousness. And I would just be very careful of your mindset this month. I would make sure that you're keeping a positive financial mindset. Again, the card itself can just be beliefs. It can say that you're having negative financial beliefs, and you need to change that so you don't attract it, right? You have the Five of Swords and the High Priestess. You're being pulled away from something, is what I feel like this is. This is like an intuitive pull. So the Five of Swords, again, I don't think fives are that big of a deal. I think fives have very easy solutions, like I said. But even at that, the Five of Swords, the guy at the front there, he is walking away the winner. And so if you are feeling pulled away from something, or if you are feeling like you need to, remove yourself from a situation, then I definitely would with these cards, because I feel like it's saying that you are being pulled away for a reason. And but this could be more of an intuitive pull. Like, you might not be able to explain it. Like, if you feel like you should quit your job and get another one, you might not be able to explain why. But, again, I would be trusting your intuition at this time for sure, especially with that card. With the Knight of Swords, you have the Justice card. This could be it really is saying that you have to take a balanced approach. With the Knight of Swords, we also have to pay attention to the evidence. The whole point of the Knight of Swords, the Justice card, is that we have to weigh up the options, right? But if someone is like rushing into our life, telling us like, oh, everybody's getting fired or whatever, we really need to look at the evidence and see if it's true or not. So I think this is true for everything in life, by the way, Virgo. I think everyone needs to do this right now. I think we all need to be like looking at the evidence of what we're doing and trusting the evidence and all that other stuff. With the Five of Pentacles, you have the Seven of Wands. The Seven of Wands is a card of conviction and knowing that you know that you can make something happen. So with the Seven of Wands, we have to believe that we can truly be successful. And if we do that, then we will be. But we have to believe it. The Seven of Wands is also a card of drawing a line in the sand. and saying, this is what I'm willing to accept. I'm not going to accept anything below this point. It might be a good time for you to draw a line in the sand with yourself and to say, like, I am no longer willing to live my life like the XYZ, whatever that is for you, Virgo. And, I'm no longer willing to put up with these things. So, I'm kind of setting these boundaries with myself so that I can live a more successful life. With whatever these two were, Five of Swords and the High Priestess, you have the Knight of Cups. There could be love coming in for you. It is a good time for love, as I said to everyone. The summer is a very good time for love and to find love. So the Knight of Cups can be a knight in shining armor coming in for you. Definitely could be a water sign. It could be like a little bit of a dreamy person with that Seven of Cups. Is this a bad thing? I'm not sure yet, because we do go up to the Devil. So, number one, obviously this is a general reading. I'm reading for a lot of you. So if you meet a person and they seem toxic and they do toxic things, they are toxic, right? Plain and simple. Do not date that person. But for some of you, I feel that this could be a person where it's like you just have to get to know them. It's like, I'm not saying that they seem toxic or anything like that, but, it's like, I don't know. I don't have a good example for you right now, Virgo, but it's like maybe sometimes we meet a person, maybe they seem a little bit cocky, right? It's like one thing to be cocky, but it's like another thing if the person is cocky and they can back it up, right? It's like, sure, you can say someone has an ego, but if they have the goods to back that ego up, if they can do what they say, again, justice, pay attention to the evidence, right? If they can actually do the things that they're bragging about, then maybe they have a right? So, again, I kind of feel like you could be meeting a person maybe you're not sure of at first, but then as you get to know them, maybe you become more sure of them. That's what I'm saying. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this card. It says adjustments are required. You have this win-win. This card says win-win outcome is forecast. You have 3 cards. I'm just going to show you these first 2 right now. Anything that you're working on, just realize that it's not going to be perfect. Again, South Node in Virgo, I said this in your last reading. The most annoying part of the South Node in Virgo for you is going to be that things are not going to be perfect. You are going to have to change things as you go. And so deal with it. The win-win card definitely could be a win-win coming in for you. You have this new moon in Cancer. It says you and your loved ones are safe. So you are protected. It's really weird to me that, people keep getting these cards of protection and, so much. Every single reading. It's more than normal. So, again, I think you need to realize that you are protected and everyone in your life is as well. You have the Hierophant, the Seven of Cups, and the Nine of Cups. The Hierophant can be a card of blessings. He is blessing right here these 2 people in front of him. And so if you are hoping or praying for blessings, there could be blessings coming in for you, or you could be attracting more blessings. I also feel that you have learned a lot, and you could be applying what you learned in life at this time. But it's in a different way. I think you've been learning a lot of lessons, and it's saying that you are finally using those lessons to get something out of life. So that could be good as well. On top of that, you have the Hierophant and the High Priestess. I look at these 2 as better divine counterparts than the Emperor and the Empress. So if you are looking for love, there definitely could be a very strong connection. Again, I'm still not sure what this Devil is. The Devil could be a past person. It could be a bad behavior or something like that. It might not even be connected. I'm not sure yet. We haven't gotten there yet. But, again, this does look like a good connection if you want love. You have the Seven of Cups. Yeah, spoiled for choice. I always say that I kind of feel like Seven of Cups is like a good card, bad card situation sometimes. Because there are good things in those cups, but there are also some bad things in those cups. But sometimes I feel with the Seven of Cups that the card itself is asking us to find out. It's basically saying, if you're interested in love, for example, there might be some good things and bad things that you see with the person. But the Seven of Cups says you have to find out. You have to go on the journey and figure out if they really are a good person or not. And again, we can do this without over-investing. We can do this without giving the person everything up front, right? So that's what I would do. If you're meeting a person that you like, I'm not saying you don't like this person. I think you will like this person. But maybe you're just not sure if it's going to work or whatever. I feel like this is saying, go on a couple dates. Don't attach a bunch of meaning to it. and just see what happens and look at the evidence. Do they say things and actually do them, or are they talking out their ass all the time? What is the answer? I don't know. I think you have to figure that out. So again, I would take your time, see how it goes, invest a little bit, right? And let them invest a little bit and just see what happens. You have the Nine of Cups. Nine of Cups can be fulfillment or wish fulfillment, and a lot of people have been getting these wish fulfillment cards this month, so it definitely seems to be a month of wish fulfillment or fulfillment in general. The secret with the Nine of Cups is that the more fulfilled we are, the more fulfilled we become. So we have to practice fulfillment to be fulfilled with the Nine of Cups. All we have to do is be in the energy. We just have to act as if we already have the things that we want, and we will get them with the Nine of Cups if we just bathe in the energy of what we want. And so that's what I would be doing with this card, is I would be acting as if and being in the energy of what you want. With that, here you go. With the Hierophant, you have the Two of Cups. Perfect match. Maybe this is why you feel a little, you feel a little bit off about this person if you're meeting a person. Again, not bad. I want to stress. If you feel bad, run. Obviously, right? That's not what we're talking about here. We're just talking about maybe a little something off where you're just not sure, right? And I'm not talking about a big deal here, so I want to make that clear. I get these comments sometimes where people are like, I met this guy and you said not to worry, but I felt kind of weird, and there were two bodies in his trunk, and I wasn't sure if that's what you meant. Yes, clearly run, obviously. But you have the Two of Cups. This is why. Two of Cups is you and your higher self, number one, but it's also a person. These two people are meant to look very different. So the Two of Cups, we usually attract a person who is very different than our usual type. And, that could be why there's just a different feeling about this. And so there you go. Again, obviously, if there are bodies in this person's trunk, run. Not what we're talking about. If you just feel a little unsure, if it's just a little bit different, then I would say give it a chance, because I don't know. I just feel like you will be very happy that you did. With the Seven of Cups, you have the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords is self-imposed restriction, holding yourself back with the Seven of Cups, probably. So the Eight of Swords, we have to realize that there is more than one way to do pretty much everything that we want to do in life. And all we have to do is open up to other solutions and other situations with the Eight of Swords, and we will set ourselves free. And that's what I would do with that card. With the Nine of Cups, you have the Two of Wands. Two of Wands about taking the lead. Two of Wands is also basically says with the Nine of Cups that to get the things that you truly desire, sometimes you have to do different things in life, right? He is standing at the top of his castle. Obviously, if he wants to get a different result from life, he has to do things a different way. Most of us are stuck because we just keep doing things the same way over and over and over again, right? So if we want to get different results, we have to do things we've never done before. And that's what I would do there with the Two of Wands. Two of Wands is a card of stepping out of a comfort zone, getting into the world, and experiencing variety. The Seven of Cups is my card of variety. So I think you need to see how to do things in different ways. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have this Come to the Edge card and this Soulmates card. Yes, definitely could be a soulmate. Yeah, like I said, you're going to have to I think the Come to the Edge card is my card of pushing yourself to that point where you would normally give up and going a little bit further. We'll talk about it because I think that's true for you on a personal level, if you're working on any projects. But as far as a person is concerned, again, I do feel there's something here. There's something going on, clearly, with a person that you could be interested in. Maybe you have to push yourself outside your comfort zone to, talk to the person or be with the person. But could be a soulmate, so I think it would be worth it here, Virgo. You have the Devil, the Nine of Wands, and the Eight of Wands. The Devil can be a toxic person or an energy vampire, but this could also be encouraging you to set yourself free from something from the past. If something has been stealing your energy from the past, then, it could say that this new thing is much different. You do have the Nine of Wands, and, the Nine of Wands is about putting up boundaries. So as long as you have healthy boundaries with any new people, I think you'll be fine. This could also just be a Capricorn, by the way. This doesn't have to be a bad thing. It could just be a Capricorn. On top of that, I think it's an amazing time for you to get disciplined, especially with Saturn going into Aries for you, Virgo. I think that, the Devil is technically Saturn and Capricorn. Technically the Devil isn't Capricorn. technically the devil is Saturn in Capricorn. Technically the world is Capricorn, and the Queen of Pentacles is Capricorn. But sometimes I feel like the devil could be talking about Saturn energy, and yeah, I just think you have to be disciplined at this time. You have the Nine of Wands. Nine of Wands is the wounded warrior, and so that could also be kind of clouding your vision as far as love is concerned. Obviously, if you've been through a bunch of challenges with people, it can be hard to like trust people again and all that other stuff. But I think it would be worth it for you to open up here, Virgo, with a person, especially this person, because it looks good. The Nine of Wands, I also feel, is an amazing card for experimentation. It is my card of throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks. I think anyone who wants to be successful right now has to do a ton of experimenting. Look at my channel. I run a ton of experiments on this channel all the time. I don't do it for, shits and giggles. I do it to grow. And again, so anyone who wants to grow needs to experiment at this time with the Nine of Wands. Of course, make sure you have appropriate boundaries if you're meeting a new person. You have the Eight of Wands. Eight of Wands is like quick success or quick conclusion. So again, something probably is going to happen very quickly for you here, Virgo. And it could be a love connection that moves very quickly or that you fall into very quickly. The Eight of Wands, all those wands are also pointing in one direction, which seems to be an important theme for people right now, that if we're going to do something, we need to make sure that we're, aiming in a direction at something that we want, and we need to make sure that we make it happen. And so I think that, making sure that you are pointing in a direction is going to be very important with this Eight of Wands. I also feel that there could be like a ton of communication for you at this time. I would almost be careful of that. Like, Devil, Nine of Wands, Eight of Wands, you could have a lot of people that want your time right now, and you only have so much time during the day. So I would make sure that you're also putting up boundaries with people, with people who want your time, people who want to do things with you, people who want your energy. It's definitely popping into my head. Yes, with the devil, you have the King of Swords. Yeah, it could be a very wise, mature person that's coming in for you. The thing about the King of Swords is he's very disciplined. And so, again, if anything, you're probably attracting a person who's very disciplined, and that's probably something you'll notice. Usually people who are disciplined are not toxic because they are disciplined, right? They have the discipline to, do things the right way. With the Nine of Wands, you have the Queen of Swords. You cannot... I do not like the King and Queen of Swords together, because the King and Queen of Swords together do not see eye to eye. This can represent like two people who do not see eye to eye. Now, what I think for you, Virgo, is that you're attracting a person where it's like the two of you are very different, clearly. And, that could be a little bit of the challenge that I'm feeling here. I really don't think it's that big of a deal. So, I don't want to make this seem like something it isn't. I really don't think it's that big of a deal, but... that could be part of it. The other thing is usually sometimes King and Queen of Swords can just say, this is a person you have not talked to yet. And obviously we have the Eight of Wands right here. So you're going to have to talk to this person. With the Eight of Wands, you have the Three of Cups. Yes, like I said, Three of Cups is your community. It is the people around you. It is a lot of people being around you as well. It is a card of celebration. These three ladies are celebrating a harvest, so there definitely could be some sort of harvest that you will be celebrating in the near future. But at the same time, like I said, it can be a lot of people. So I would make sure that you are protecting your energy from too many people. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this empowerment card. It says, are you ready to fully step into your power and accept all the responsibility that comes with it? You have this innovate card. It says, with the right inspiration, you can bring a novel approach to almost anything. What can you innovate to contribute towards making the world a better place? Yes, I think we are, obviously it's an amazing time for innovation. We have Pluto and Aquarius. Pluto and Aquarius will be great for innovating and coming up with new ways of doing things and all that other stuff. I also think that you could definitely be empowering yourself. Again, if you are adopting a new identity, like we've been talking about with you for months, then, again, you could be empowering yourself. You have the Ten of Pentacles, Nine of Swords, and the Seven of Pentacles. The Ten of Pentacles is everything you want and desire in your life. The Ten of Pentacles forms the tree of life, and it kind of represents building and leaving a legacy. A lot of people have been triggered to do this, I think, because of Uranus and Taurus. Uranus and Taurus wants true freedom. Uranus and Taurus would love for everyone to build and leave a legacy. Yes, Uranus will be leaving Taurus in July. It'll be going into Gemini. Doesn't matter. When a planet goes through a sign, you are learning the energy. After it leaves, you have to implement the energy. If you don't, then you don't get any of the rewards. So we have plenty of time to work on, building and leaving certain legacies in our lives. And if we build those things, we will build them. We will have success. You have the Nine of Swords. This is good. Nine of Swords and the good stuff would say that you are ending a never-ending nightmare. The story of this card is that he's had a nightmare, he's gone to bed, and he's woken up and he's stuck in a nightmare. So in the good stuff, the Nine of Swords can say that you are bringing a never-ending nightmare to an end, which obviously would be a good thing. You have the Seven of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles can represent like a change in direction. So he's looking at those Seven Pentacles and he's saying, is the juice worth the squeeze? But again, the answer, there is no answer to that question. You have to decide. A lot of you could be weighing your options on something, I feel, with the Seven of Pentacles. Like, especially if you're working on like a Ten of Pentacles project, you could be saying, is it worth it or not to, keep working on this project? With the Ten of Pentacles, you have the Two of Swords. Two of Swords is like this or that thinking, but Two of Swords and the good stuff can say that you are finding another way to do things. I always say, this is my card of third place solutions. She's thinking this or that, but really there's a new island behind her. She could change her environment. She could leave where she is. She could go somewhere else to this new island and probably get a better result. The other thing is that she has this blindfold on, and the blindfolds in the tarot represent needing to trust your intuition. And definitely with the High Priestess, I feel that it's time for you to trust your intuition. Whatever your intuition is telling you or what your intuition is guiding you towards, I really would be paying attention to your intuition with that card. With the Nine of Swords, you have the Ace of Cups. Yeah, I mean, this is just good. I mean, again, Nine of Swords in the good stuff can say you're overcoming the nightmare. Ace of Cups would say your emotions are overflowing, that you're very happy at this time. Ace of Cups could also be a love offer. So like I said, do not be surprised if you are getting some sort of, solid love offer or like an important love offer is coming in for you at this time. But the Ace of Cups is also you being very happy or your happiness overflowing. With the Seven of Pentacles, you have the Five of Swords. You could be taking some sort of risk. Five of Swords in the good stuff can represent like taking a risk or putting yourself out there in some way. It's kind of like a card of winning at all costs, but it is a card that does represent winning. So a lot of you, could be winning. You have this table, it says hard work ahead. Yes, this whole entire summer is a hard work summer. So I don't know. It just is what it is until September, until we have that next set of eclipses. We're all probably going to be working hard, but I think it's a good thing, really, personally. I think that people are going to start feeling motivated probably after the 18th. Today is June 13th, so, in about 5 days or 4 days after, if you were watching this on the 14th, after the 18th, I think people are going to start feeling really motivated and are going to be putting the work in. You have this money path card. It says a path with money is waiting for you to find it. Yeah, definitely could be a lot of success here, Virgo. I think that a lot of you, if you're reinventing yourself work-wise as well, that could be where the money is coming from. You have this needle and thread. It says a sincere wish granted. Didn't we have the Nine of Cups, or am I making that up? Yeah, you did have the Nine of Cups, and so definitely could be some sort of wish coming true or a wish being granted. You also could be feeling very fulfilled. You have this Fair Woman card. It says dealings or relationships with a woman with blonde, gray, or white hair. You have this Hills card. It says obstacles to overcome. You could have a woman like this. could be your boss, could be your sister, could be someone you know. That's a little bit of an obstacle. It could be a man as well. Again, this is general reading, so it could be anything that you're dealing with, but you could be overcoming this obstacle. You have this Older Woman card. It says dealings or relationships with an older woman. You have this Key card. It says successful outcome to your problems. Yes, so love it. Definitely could be overcoming some problems. But this looks very good, Virgo. I like it. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your week.